Well, there we go. We got there anyway.
It's just like, Death Wants to Trace is like a just Mad Libs over and over. Yeah, what you got?
I hope you guys are ready for it. Best of 3 coming up here between G2 and NRG. It's going to be G2 starting CT side and NRG on the T side. So we'll see how they play this one out. They do have a Molotov there on the T side. I always like seeing that. There is a smoke on Amanek. Looks like he's about to use it, so that can always be risky, especially if they end up B. But it looks like it might be mid-boom Ivy hit, actually.
Yeah, you've got to at least dedicate one person if you're Ethan or Cirque, at least one. And the question is, do the 3 players coming Ivy actually try go CT spawn and meet up with them? That would be really, really tough to accomplish. Coming through the smoke as well, Amanek's got first contact, and he's going to continue to fall back. Kills traded. They're slowed down on this take, and Amanek get nothing done, but Shocks and Jax arrive.
Yeah, he could have probably hit some of those shots, but it's almost like he baited them far enough back that it worked out in their favor anyway. Ethan and Cirque left here. Bomb dropped all the way on the other side at the back of Ivy, so they've got time to go and pick it up, and they've even stolen a USP in the middle of all of the chaos, so kind of hard to say who's going to win this right now. 40 seconds it's not a lot of time, but it could be enough.
Certainly could be. I mean, tough part, Ethan has the USP with no armor as well. You almost feel like you should pass that off, but either way, Jax is going to spot them both. That's a great shot on Ethan. Armor be damned. Good trade from Cirque down into this one-on-one, and he's got the bomb as well. 20 seconds on the clock. Ooh. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he might have even realized he's going back for a little bit more. Another bullet would probably do it at that kind of a damage, but now he's falling back instead. Shock's trying to creep. He's already ready. That's pretty good on him. 8 seconds, so actually Cirque can't really fake it. He sort of has to go for it. Safe plant in the middle of it. He might actually be run down here. Shock's right on top of him. He's going to be jumping over him, and somehow he hits the headshot. Oh my god, that was a lot of chaos for a pistol round.
Yeah, that really was, and especially right at the end. Cirque, he eats like probably like 6 or 7 seconds of the clock when he actually goes to get aggressive at Old Bomb, trying to go down that Ivy after doing a lot of damage to Shocks. I think that's what kind of ruins him, because he just had absolutely no chance whatsoever to get into a better position after the bomb goes down. That's a nice one-on-one win from Shocks.
Yeah, second round with the bomb plant right there. NRG are going to be picking up guns straight away. And that's not really any kind of a surprise. Might even 2 Kriegs and an AK-47. They're pretty heavily armed.
Yeah, they really are, especially considering the Kriegs both have full sets of nade. Those Kriegs obviously dropped over to the players, so we'll see how this pans out. I don't know. G2, you have to imagine that they're going to expect this on a certain level. Expect maybe AKs. I don't think they'll expect maybe 2 Kriegs and an AK-47, but we'll see when the game is given up. Deep smoke in towards Ivy. We've seen some aggression for G2 in the past, pushing behind these smokes. For the moment, it's just Amanek pushed halfway up Ivy.
Ethan, I think, taking a peek into that B ramp against Lucky, but nothing really comes of it. They have a couple of grenades left there on G2, but actually, they have enough for a decent execute right now on the NRG side. That could be interesting.
Yeah, they're going to have a very, very nice execute. And at the moment, they can just wait out nades and all this. They're loving the sound of these grenades going off because they just want a little bit less utility, a little bit less things flying in their face when they eventually do decide to go. Tarek and Ethan. Tarek's got one of the Kriegs. They're going to have to clear out ladder room. Excuse me, Ethan's already down it. They've already done that. So Tarek will have a free passageway back down. I think now is when we'll start to see this execute being lined up.
Yeah, well, you get someone that deep in ladder, that could be pretty beneficial. A couple of, like one good flashbang and a peek from Ethan with that deagle, that could be all they really need. There come the flashbangs, now he's going to try and go for it, and actually, it'll be Tarek and Cirque to pick up a couple of opening kills there. They get one in return from Amanek, but that's a great opening. 23 seconds here as they're about to put down the bomb. It's a 3-on-4. NRG might have done it in this round.
Yeah, this is so great. Breeze and Tarek staying far back with the Kriegs as well, allowing the lesser-equipped teammates to get up and get the bomb planted, the danger zones. But now, the retake looking very, very possible. It's just Breeze. He's the only one left. They had this round secured. It felt so good, and now he's got to swing out and stop this defuse. Doesn't realize he's off the bomb just yet, and the timing's not with him. Looks away. Lucky finishes it off, and somehow NRG let that one go.
Yeah, that was a pretty big gift that they got there. I almost felt like they got the bomb plant down, but then they couldn't really find any safe positions to stay in. Like they couldn't fall far enough back. So that was a bit unfortunate.
I think they were back far enough. I think they had a really tough time kind of coordinating which fights they were taking. I mean, when you have 2 Kriegs like that far back, so many players go down before the bomb is even close to being defused, right? Until anyone's even tapped it. And that's That's kind of the awkward part for the bombs, or for the fights they selected.
Well, so a bit of a wasted opportunity. I don't think NRG are really going to be too upset about it, but obviously want to be careful here on the T side of Train. We've seen it before. Not really this round yet. I guess they're fighting pistols, but G2 don't have sort of all of the grenades. But once that CT side really starts to build and they suddenly have, you know, 5 Molotovs and 5 smokes and everything else, it just becomes a little bit of a nightmare playing that T side.
Yeah, real suffocating, especially for a team that's, you know, on the verge of swapping out in-game leaders. Everything we've heard from NRG, even just conversations, you know, behind the scenes and everything, has just been like, oh, we've been practicing with Stanislaw and we have to play with Daps here. So there is going to be probably a bit of confusion on some of these T sides. Now, on the other edge of that is that NRG is an extremely skilled team. So you never know, you know, if you're feeling uneasy in terms of tactics and teamwork, you might just go balls out with the skill side of things.
Yeah, we love that kind of play, don't we? That could be really interesting. And it's not necessarily either that I would say that G2 always have to be sort of the most tactical team, and they've got the firepower too. So that's the kind of game that we get. Daps, unfortunately, cratering. Of course, a little bit of help from Lucky there. They're going to get the bomb plant down. Oh, no, they're not.
I will say one thing. Nice nade. I will say one thing we haven't really discussed, and maybe one of the things that comes down, we talked about the inability of NRG to hold on to that bomb site in round 2. One thing that impressed us very much with G2 at DreamHack Dallas was their ability to retake bomb sites. They'd obviously been very planned out. We saw some craziness specifically on this map with their retakes. They will be very patient and go very deep into the bomb timer before they start retaking these bomb sites, but they're very effective in it.
Yeah, that could be a legitimate strategy as well. If you just control sort of key parts of that bomb site on B, and you don't really let the T's get out. You sort of let them in to get the bomb plant down, but then you control so much of the site that they can't really escape, and they're gonna get grenaded as well. So I respect that kind of an idea. Shark's gonna be playing close in Pop Dog, and I wonder how, because we've seen it so much now where people they're not even playing in Pop, they're playing under the ladder, which seems to be working really well. It's like the flavor of the month right now.
Yeah, it can be sometimes an awkward fight, and so I mean that spam battle is always pretty 50-50, but obviously information helps. Jax is going to join up with him there. Even if Shox goes down, Jax can have an immediate trade, and NRG has not moved across the map. 3 players still at the dumpster by T-Spawn. Breeze and Ethan just now starting to clear out box halls. They want to force Lucky off this angle. That's going to force Jax to fall away from ladder room and come support. So at least mission 1 accomplished. They've actually alleviated some of that defensive pressure outside.
That might help them out a little bit. Ethan going to do his best to clear it out, but Smoke's going to go up, and I'm getting a bit worried now. We're down to about 35 seconds. They hit a pretty good grenade on Shock, so that might help out a bit, but still, with this little time left, not a lot has to go wrong here for NIG. If they drop the bomb in the wrong position, that could probably cost them everything. They're going to try and see if they can get down. Shock's on the other side, and that cancels out a whole arm of that push, and they're going to get absolutely crushed coming out of T-Main as well. Just no entry.
That's such a sick round from G2. All 5 players surviving. It looks easy. Even Shock's taking that early damage, but you said it. With the time the way it was, one thing goes wrong and NRG's screwed, and that smoke in ladder room was just so brutal. When they eventually do drop down, they can't see anything. Shox just gets a couple of freebies in ladder room. And from there, the crossfire set up in middle, and well done from G2. So 4-0, a pretty, I mean, it's a shaky 4-0. That round was great, but I mean, pistol round was very close. Second round, they probably should have bet a victory for NRG. But G2's on top so far.
Yeah, probably going to continue for a little bit here. They do have upgraded armor, but they're not going to check the corner, and Amanek is loving every second of this, except for the part where he runs out of bullets. That part wasn't fun. But otherwise, things are working out well down there. It's a triple for him. Daps back to 0. He got a kill in that round. He's -1 otherwise, so...
Oh, did he have a TK? Or
no, he fell to
his death?
Yeah. Was getting shot by Lucky, so it wasn't really his fault, but...
Yeah, but I mean, we like to paint it that way because it's funnier.
It is funnier, especially when he's about to be... You know, like...
All the misery is great.
So here we go. 5-0 in favor of G2. And leading into round number 6, we do have an AWP on Cirque, which I think is always exciting, although double AWP on G2. So let's see how much he's worth here.
Both those ops outside, both have been relatively the same position as well. Amanek with 1 watching Ivy. Kenny with the other in hell, holding towards T mid. If Almanac gets smoked off, that could be so dangerous. I mean, they're fortunate that NRG isn't putting more bodies towards Ivy, because Almanac with the AWP, if Kenny's the support with an op as well, that gets very dicey once the utility gets put in place. Shock's again going to be in ladder room.
Good grenade damage. That was a nice little camera move.
That actually
that?
tweaked me out. I actually thought we were following the player for a second. I was wondering why Shox didn't shoot, but fair play.
See, that grenade it is such a good idea to throw it up there. The problem is there's a vent that it lands on top of, and it's really hard to stop that from happening. So the vent up there or the pipe ate pretty much all of that damage. Ethan does still take a fair bit, but they've got the kill on Shox. That's his first death, by the way.
He's also got a lot of information, Ethan. He knows he sees 2 more defenders. He got the kill onto Shox, so now they can go back towards that inner bomb site. They have a very good call, and it's all unlucky. He's got to get at least 2 kills here for them to have a great chance. There's the first, the angle with the AUG, and Ethan trades it off. Beautiful headshot. Now 2 ops on this retake. Jax, the only member with the AUG, and that is a fortunate survival from Ethan.
I was going to say, why is he looking before the bomb goes down?
I don't know, but he's very lucky.
Now we've got the real nightmare. Double AWP retake, even with a flank coming in from Breezy over at Ivy, so very hard to imagine they could do this, but even worse, I don't think they can escape necessarily. So that's going to be a lot of money to give away, isn't it? Ethan set up nicely for that. Crab walk spray with the AK, and he gets a headshot. Quad kill for Ethan, in spite of our criticism of his little peek.
His little gopher game, peeking his head up at the bomb train. 5-1. That is a very nice round from Ethan. He had some stunning shots, 4 kills.
If you are going to play that gopher game, you want to not be the gopher at least. That's really the trick. Like, try and be the guy with a hammer if that's what you do.
Yeah, the guy with the hammer is definitely more fun. This one, like, what's he doing?
I don't even know really where the bullet went either.
I don't either.
But this is good news for NRG. They probably had a round earlier that they could have won. The second round where they sort of bought into it. And this time maybe they could have it could have been worse for them, but they're going to bring it back a little bit. Cirque, though, does go down. And it's going to be...
That's the biggest problem they had, right? Was so much money built up on G2. There's so many times that Kenny S can have an AWP, and it's just so deadly to have to repeatedly go up against it. He's found a pick this round. Dap's trying to be creative. He's going to get caught out. 5-on-3 in the favor of G2, despite some success inside early on by NRG, at least forcing Shox and Lucky back off aggressive angles without taking any punishment. But now they're getting mopped up. Now it's all been individual, and it's fallen apart.
Wow, the timing as well for that kind of a peak. Breezy not really standing a chance. Amanek will take him down. That's going to leave Tarek. And again, doing some damage here would be great, but it doesn't really look possible. And instead, G2 with a really swift revenge. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? They do have enough for a buy on, and I'd be surprised if they didn't try and force it up here, because otherwise...
They have to, yeah. They have enough money for it.
Yeah.
You don't want this to slip too far away, and you want to keep the weaponry low for the G2 side. So immediate response from the defense. Double op setup looking, it's 50-50 so far? 1 round loss, 1 round won?
Yeah, that's the math you're going with.
I don't want to be committed. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure.
All right, well, we'll find out. I like this aggressive push from Tarek to get in the pop dog. Sometimes you can even just catch CTs early on in the round that are just sort of like walking into your crosshair because they forget that someone can be there pretty quickly. Instead, it's Ethan getting caught.
It's kind of, I mean, it's a little bit what we talked about, that limbo of in-game leaders and maybe being too individual. I think they're going to start getting punished for that. I mean, Ethan just dry walks out T-mid, and that's it. They're going up against a defense that they've known has been double up for some time. So those plays are not high percentage plays when you're going against 2 AWPs.
Now they're just waiting for time. It really feels like NRG are expecting that there are going to be more fights happening from the CT side, but I don't see why there would be, especially when they're 4-on-5. But it sort of seems like they're waiting around,
Yeah, look at the position of Tarek and Cirque, and we're past, 50 seconds left in the round. They haven't really moved any forward at all and tried to take any kind of control. So yeah, you're right. The fights aren't going to be taking place at that point. This is just a very patient defense from G2, just not doing anything crazy, but not making any mistakes, forcing NRG to be the aggressors.
Especially with the man advantage, that's kind of what you want to do now. Tapping away a little bit here is Jackson. Gonna do a little bit of a connection. That's a great headshot to take down Tarek. Daps with an opening coming out of Pop Dog. That's going to help out a little bit, but he's going to get shut down. Now there's only 20 seconds left, and the bomb trying to see if they can make his way onto the site. They needed Breeze to make some sort of an opening happen, and it's not going to work. They only get the 2 kills now, so that is not enough. So 7-1 in favor of G2. This is such a great start for them.
And the tough part is there's not a whole lot for NRG to be happy about. The one round they've won so far was, what, Ethan with 4 kills. He got the entry and an important trade kill, and then just mops things up. You haven't gotten the bomb down since round 2.
Yeah, they've really been shut down, haven't they? Timeout being called for NRG, maybe to discuss this very situation, try and figure out, you know, how to turn it around.
I'd like to see, I mean, obviously we know it's not going to be because Breeze has that AK-47. I'd like to see like a half buy out of NRG, right? And then the next gun round, do something fast-paced. We haven't seen them do any kind of like really, really aggressive hit towards outside. Part of that is because of the utility, but you're just getting picked apart at the moment doing things slow, right? Like we've seen this enough rounds. Your slow tactics aren't being effective. You're losing players to AWPs. You're losing players for free just walking out of T-mid. So try and get past those Molotovs. Just kind of push out and see what happens. And yeah, outside of Breeze, everyone else is on that half buy.
Going to be a lot of grenades going into... Oh, maybe not that many, actually. They probably could have rushed T-main in that round. Jax on the bomb train itself. Kenny got to pick up 2 kills before they even make it out, and they're going to get shut down completely. Nobody goes down from G2, so that's going to build the money way out of control now. Obviously increase the lead at 8-1. This is
a smackdown.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
Well, it's good to see as well. I mean, we're in France. Might as well get a French team up on stage. Might as well get them in front of the crowd.
I would really appreciate that. I mean, that'd be good. And I mean, we are living in the sort of revitalization of French Counter-Strike.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering where you're gonna go with that. I was a bit scared.
You're scared for a minute?
I thought you were gonna just say something ridiculous like the French era.
Oh, no, not yet. I do make a lot of strange predictions like that.
We were just talking earlier. You have MIBR winning the major.
Don't need to mention it all the time, Moses.
I just want to make sure we refresh everyone's memory that Anders Bloom did indeed say that MIBR was going to win the major.
Well, it's going to be glorious when they do it. Like, that's all I can say. Like, it's going to come in and everyone's going to be laughing, and then they'll be like, how are they so good now?
How's he done it again?
Why? Well, here we go. Back in the game. Round number 10. We talked about speed. Waiting around has usually just lost them some of the entry fights, and then they've sort of ended up wasting a fair bit of time. 3 Ivy, you could do some really fun things with smoking off towards Yard and everybody sort of rushing the one side. You could do it the other way too if you wanted, but you actually have to make it around that corner. If you lose like one person trying to set that up, it's not so great anymore.
I find it pretty interesting. We saw Amanek and Kenny S with the 2 AWPs previously. Now Shox has the second op, and Ethan's going to take his head clean off. Forces Kenny to rotate over and actually takes everyone away from Ivy. This is great call from NRG. Really manipulating the rotation. Whether they read it or not, they've got a pretty free Ivy control all the way to the end. Now they just have to get out.
Amanek losing a bit of patience there. This time G2 were forced to make a couple of peaks, you know, just to try and equalize that 4-on-5, and it cost them another player. And this is looking much, much better. Cirque patiently holding it here with the AWP. I'd be a little bit scared, but he does have backup behind him. He could probably still end up winning the fight. 40 seconds, the bomb slowly getting there, and Cirque so ready for it. Good hold from him. Not much Kenny can do outside of a good little flick. But yeah, causing economic damage, I think the best case scenario for him right now.
Not even do that at this point. In a 1-on-4, you got your 1 kill, try and survive. And yeah, hopefully you can do economic damage in the process, but going for kills, not going to give you a whole lot. And there's Ethan. Wrapping around behind very, very quick. A second round finally for NRG. But still money for the Frenchman. You could see Lucky has 12,000. Kenny's got 12,000 as well. They can drop. They can rebuy the AWPs. So G2 is going to be all good.
Well, it's a little bit of comfort, and it's not that this first half is lost for them. 8-2, they can bring it back. If they get up to like 5 rounds, I think then it's pretty recoverable.
Well, they have that full, I mean, not the full anymore with that 1 round, but they do have the losing bonus is going to be in their favor, so that's going to help them a little bit be able to sustain and try and build upon that win. Upon that second round, But now you can see kind of later in the stages, before it wasn't a very aggressive defense. This time it is. Pop Flash, 2 players pushing through, and they've got 3 kills. The Augs ring out. NRG caught that flashbang pretty well and could get nothing done. There's barely even any damage dealt to Jax.
I can hardly believe it. That flashbang was so good. They could have probably tried to knife them instead. Like, everybody was flashed forever out there. It was so good that Amanek actually came swinging out, looking into the wrong corner, and just continued to spray all the way through, and they just
Still was able to get the kills.
Still made it happen. Now, it's just a question of really not making any mistakes here if you're on the G2 side. It's not worth giving a lot of kills when you're in a 5 versus 2, and we're going to take Tarek down immediately afterwards, and a good job once again. So, not a pattern I think NRG were hoping to re-experience, winning a round and losing immediately afterwards. It's, well, I guess it's better with the new economy system, but it's still not great.
No, it's
You're not celebrating.
No, not even a little bit. Yeah, this is so good. Look at this flashbang. 2 players coming through this. You'll never expect that. Hell's going to clean it up very, very quickly. Yeah, Almanek, he just starts pre-firing and has plenty of time to adjust. Cirque was a little bit blind, and with that op, could not land the shot. Beautiful from G2. They haven't really busted out anything that aggressive about this whole half, so they might have just caught NRG sleeping there right at the end.
I always feel like that must be so demoralizing if you're on the T side and you're sort of trying to string together like, oh, well, what can we, let's try and do some sort of setup, and then as you're trying to figure out how your T side's going to play, suddenly you have to react to something and you have to sort of respond to whatever the CTs are doing. If you can hit that timing on the CT side, where you just sort of, you know, put a stick in the wheel right as they're getting up to speed, that's really good.
It's mostly frustrating as the in-game leader, right? Because you call something and then you don't even get to try it. So then you have the option. Do you change what you called based off what you just saw, or do you just go back to it in the next round?
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, the in-game leader situation for NRG is all sorts of screwed up at the moment. So that's probably, you know, probably can't get too much more frustrating.
This is where we really would like the comms, isn't it? Maybe Dabs is saying this, and I don't, you know, I'm not interested.
I'm hands off. This isn't my project anymore.
No, you guys do it if you want. Kenny is going to be sneaking in. That's the kind of aggression they were waiting for a long time and didn't get it. And this time they get it at Ivy with nobody there to respond. Now they're going to try and see if they can run down the ramp into the B-bomb side with about 30 seconds left. And that's a great hold so far. Lucky and Shox combining. And Shox could just play it very safely. He's even got backup, so they can't really cross into the bomb site. Cirque on 2 health, just needs to die at this point, and it's going to be Kenny to help him out with that one. Shox on the triple and an overall scoreline of 12-2, and Kenny up there 13-4.
And Jax 11-6.
I'm going to say it again, because they're back.
Yeah, you're convinced?
All the way. They're back in Dallas.
Over a mid-roster change NRG, you're calling them back?
It was in Dallas too, and then it wasn't enough. There's no pleasing you.
What did they
have to do to prove
What
it?
did they finish in Dallas? Did they even make it to the playoffs?
I can't remember. But listen, that's not the point, Moses. The point is they're back.
Okay. All right. Well, Anders thinks they're back. Lucky's going to be close up. Going to hear these footsteps. Drop the Molotov. That's well done from Cirque. Doesn't commit to it, but forces out the utility. They are playing much better recently. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Back like the Backstreet Boys, and they also do look a little bit like a boy band, so it's perfect. I bet they could. I've seen Shox dance before. He's great at it.
Have you seen boy bands before?
All the time. Grew up in the 90s. Here we go. Oh, down on the low ground. That was the guy carrying the bombs. That is not going to be going anywhere. You sometimes forget, don't you, that Shox is a terrifying AWPer as well. Because you don't get to see it all the time. But
I think
he is good at it.
I think the reason I don't.
Best thing if you're the coach.
Yeah, he's having a great time coaching. I think the reason I don't remember Shox being a terrifying AWPer is because, remember, the conversation for like a really long time was, why is he opping over Kenny?
Oh yeah, that
was a very weird.
That's a stain on his record.
That's a black mark on his opping resume.
I agree. You don't really want to be picking that. But there was a point in time where it was really out of control. Back when Dust 2 was played even more. I remember.
I would love someone to go back to like 2014 and just like make all these like pick out all like the cool Shox rounds from back then, just so like people nowadays know what we're talking about when we say Shox was incredible. Kenny as well right there. There's a little bit of flash of brilliance. Aggressive peek in towards T mid, and they've really unleashed him in these last few rounds. Unleashed all of this G2 defense. But they have no idea Ethan's already out here. The smoke's gonna clear. Kenny's gonna grab that easily.
I would like that. Sort of a Shocks revival, ode to Shocks, something like
Someone
that.
should go back and grab some really cool old games that were played and do like a short documentary-like feature.
Fairy Games, Titans, that kind of thing. 3 versus 5. We're not really seeing anything out of NRG right now that would inspire you to believe that they're about to sort of come up with something really good. Like, the problem really is some of these rounds have not even really been close. It's not even like, you know, oh, well, they made like the first 2/3 of a strat work and then they just needed the last part. It seems like they're really getting shot down long before we get into anything that looks like it could be doable. That's Kenny with a quad kill. And again, sort of NRG meandering, confused, stumbling out onto the bomb side. Yeah,
the T side looked it's starting to look very lost, isn't it? Like there's no real idea for what to adjust.
Well, you had LASIK now, Moses, so you don't have this problem anymore. But you know, I still use contacts, so the way that they were sort of messing around, that's how it feels like in the morning when I get up and I forget to put in my contacts. I'm like, why is everything so confused? Oh wait, I can't see anything. That kind of thing.
All right, I like that comparison. I used to wear contacts, so I get you there.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit of sympathy. Round number 15, last of the half here, and they are once again getting shut down. They had some flashbangs, but I wasn't seeing any CT side players there that were actually flashed, and Tarek is going to be the last one to go down, 13-2 in favor of G2. That is pretty outrageous.
Yeah, with barely a whimper. NRG gets destroyed in that first half on offense. We'll see if G2 can close it out clean and easy when we return from the break. Stay tuned.
Doesn't matter what it gon' cost. Never gave a shit. Real soul. Let it take a hit. Hey. Who's getting high on emotion? Look around. People fight all their life for some peace. Yeah. Look around. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on it. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Take off. Rush at the rush. Take off. Rush at the rush. Rush. Take off. Rush at the rush.
Walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby. Walk away, walk away, walk on, baby.
Well, here we go. We're back 13-2 in favor of G2 in the first half of this best of 3 on Train. They were playing on the CT side, so, you know, that should give them maybe some more rounds, but 13-2, that's really on the heavy end, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes sense when you look at it statistically as well. I mean, G2 had 12 opening kills in that first half. Kenny was 5 of those. I mean, that's just insane. Kenny was actually 5-1 in his opening duel. So just dominance to start the rounds for G2, which makes closing them out much, much easier, obviously. NRG has a real tall task. All starts with this pistol round. This map could be over so quickly if they don't take this.
Yeah, so what a task ahead of them. It's hard to really believe. I mean, it did also just look really uninspired for NRG. There was something really missing in everything that was going on there on the T side.
That was a missed opportunity for Amanek. He had the timing flash to peek out towards the C players getting towards the ladder room, and he actually spotted them, but it didn't seem like he was ready for the fight. So maybe that's designed. He just wanted the information because he only has the Glock, but that would have been a great chance to pick somebody off if they'd had a P250.
Well, there goes a smoke that would allow them to wrap onto the site and connect with the rest of the push here from the T side onto the A yard. So that could definitely be working out. See if that's what they're going to go for. Grenade doesn't really do a lot here. Cirque can still see everything, and jumping doesn't even help against him. He is so sharp with the aim, but he's going to back out into the crosshair of Shocks. And now a little bit of trading going on. Seems to be favoring NRG for the minute.
That's a really awkward defense, and I think that's what's kind of run NRG this round. I don't think G2 had any idea that this is the defense they'd be spotting. Cirque at the front of the bomb train, exposed to T-mid, 2 players in ladder room as well. I mean, there's no protocol to eliminate those kinds of positions in that style of a hit outside. Almanek, the last one left, 1 versus 3, and he's dropped from Ethan from behind. So step 1 for NRG is complete.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think they were expecting for that kind of a defense. I mean, it is kind of tricky when you push Main and Ivy and there are 2 people in Pop Dog. No matter what, you're probably not going to be expecting the second player. So
yeah.
There's a lot going on right there.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is just Cirque at the front of that bomb train, like just getting that kill towards Ivy, and then someone just peeks T-mid and they realize, oh, we can actually see him perfectly from this position. Like, he was just chilling.
Now they have a single flashbang. That's more or less it. Shocks with the P250? I don't really know. I usually like it when people buy a flashbang. I'm not sure what this one's going to do. Allow for a bomb plant, maybe. Like that's a deep maybe.
I think the only thing you can do is everyone go up a ramp, throw that flashbang deep for the connector and maybe the back wall, and just hope that you can overcome that first player. Now the flashbang doesn't even work. So this is the result. It just looks like hell. Daps up close still with the SMG. Shocks with the P250. Gonna valiantly try and get 1 more kill.
Oh, he's being run down here. They know he doesn't have any armor. Tarek, not really gonna beat around the bush on that one. And they do only get the 1 kill. So, yeah. I mean, you can't really... I think that's still... Why not? Try for that bomb plant. Works out economically quite well if you get the bomb. You know, $200 for a flashbang, $800 on everybody if you get the bomb down. So
oh, it'd be beautiful to happen. They just got wiped out. 13-2, still a massive lead for G2.
I don't know what it would take right now for NRG to really start to make it back here. AK's picked up in the hands of G2. We'll see if they can make some. Oh, he's pushed in. He's right between all of the flames there. That was very awkward for Breezy. He couldn't even really do anything.
No, he gets caught. That is a nice opening find. Again, another tally for G2 with in terms of the opening kills. Now having success to start out this T side. 2 SMGs for NRG to bring this back. Only 2 kits as well, so keep your eye on that when the bomb does get planted. This is a set piece towards outside. Utility should be great. Lucky's got to use a smoke. And he's got to bail out. Dropped pretty low.
That can really be an annoying combination if you are sort of standing in a Molotov and you then get tagged by grenades, you get slowed down. Nobody enjoys that. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
1 more grenade.
Yeah, that's not good. And now they almost have to turn into, like, lurkers. It's so hard to initiate a point of attack, which really makes this strategy much, much weaker if those Ivy guys cannot work up the courage to go out. So this might turn into a fake, I guess, if you go back towards the inner site with a couple of these players. Here comes some presence towards Ivy. It Shocks to lead the way. Everyone else going towards inside. A 2-2 split for NRG. They should have this wrapped up. This looks great. UMP close range. Those are so easy. The nade damage from Ethan. Kenny is just going to grab the bomb and bail out. They want to go towards this outer bomb site. And NRG hasn't called it out yet. Ethan's still on the rotation. He's still inside, but they've missed their timing on it.
Yeah, they might have, and that quick flank as well from Tarek looked like he could have even caught them. It shocks to go down. Next 10 seconds, and nice hold from Amanek. They need that bomb plant right about now. Kenny, so far not going to get shot under the train. Cirque, ooh, he actually drops as well,
no.
and Kenny with a headshot. How on earth has it come to this? NRG, they had absolutely everything going for them in this round. Dap's going to take the fight, but Kenny will drop him, and I don't know what to say, Moses. Why don't you try and help us out with that round?
I don't have a good response to that whatsoever. Cirque not able to complete the kill and actually even choosing to not go for the planter. He could have just stopped the bomb and straight up won the round. So perhaps a little bit of poor fight selection. UMP at that range, not the greatest thing in the world. Still, I think replaying that round like 10 times, probably 9 of those is a victory. There's the kill for Amanek, and Kenny S heads up play after he gets off the bomb. The last time these two teams met on this map, it was an overtime win for NRG. How quickly the tides have turned.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like that's going to be in the cards for today at all.
DreamHack Dallas, 19-17 in the favor of NRG, with Shocks to lead the way for G2. Good opening kill from Daps. No one there to trade for the G2 side.
Yeah, and I mean, if they want any chance of playing more overtime here, then it's going to have to be just a really, really long, continuous series of those kind of plays and just pretty much no mistakes either for NRG. They are looking a little bit deflated at the moment, although they've got the AWP, got a nice selection of SMGs, mostly lacking maybe a little bit in flashbangs, but they've got some smokes. This could definitely be around. I mean, that A-bomb site's heavily defended right now.
Here's the thing I will say, one thing in favor of NRG on at this point, like as dire as this looks, G2 at times, their T side on this map has been incredibly weak, and especially weak if they don't win the pistol round on the T side. They have at times struggled to get more than 2 gun rounds on a T side of Train, which could be very, very dangerous for them in terms of closing out this match. Now, thankfully, they already have 1, and they only need 1 more to have overtime secured. Good kill from Cirque and the close-up. Ethan trying to keep space, but it's Cirque who's doing the damage from far back. Just Amanek wants to punish the economy, can't get that done. 5th round on the board for NRG.
Yeah, good shots coming out of Cirque. Probably the player you would look to, especially playing here on the CT side with that AWP. For them to bring it back, that could really do a lot.
Who is that?
I don't know. I was trying to guess at what they might be yelling.
Well, 5-14, this opening map of a best-of-3 series. This is the Group A upper bracket semifinal. I believe the winner of this secures a spot for the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be something. NRG going to be a long road ahead of them to try and do that. But I think you do make a good point about G2. I seem to even remember us talking about that last time they were playing Train, that was sort of a reoccurring issue for them. I think that would be upsetting to a lot of people if they weren't able to find 2 more rounds in the next 10 that they're going to be playing, or maybe 11.
Oh, that'd be absolute disaster mode, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we need some hard-hitting questions in the post-game interview if that happens, Moses. We need to be ready.
We'll talk to Banks between maps. We'll have him prepare some really insulting questions.
Maybe not even questions, just yelling at them.
Like a drill sergeant. We'll get Trace out. You see his drill sergeant segment from Sydney?
Yeah.
That was great. We'll get him out there.
That is exactly what we need. Well, they get a kill on Tarek, but otherwise, you know, fine defense. All set up for it. Ethan with the triple. And Kenny, again, just trying to find a kill somewhere. They really don't have a lot of money on the NRG side, so if he finds, you know, 1 or 2 more kills here, that could be pretty annoying.
Anything is valuable, especially as this losing bonus builds up. It's at 2. It'll be 3 after this round, and you can start taking guns away and making more money. It's a beautiful thing to have for a lot of this half.
You know, some of those intro, you know, shots that we have of different part of France, which all of which are beautiful. And I drove up here from Marseille earlier, so I can attest to the fact. So it's amazing countryside they've got going on down here.
Okay.
That part where they have like essentially built almost like a river road, you know, where the boat is sort of like, you know, going bridge on top of it. What if you tried to like reverse that logic, Moses? What if you tried to pave roads on top of like water? What if you tried to make like a floating road that you could drive like across the ocean for some reason?
Pretty sure they already have this.
Not across oceans.
Well, no, because that's just insane. That doesn't work.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Pitch it to Elon, maybe.
Yeah, because the tunnel's going so well. Here we go. Lucky and Amanek has got great position inside ladder room. I don't know if they realize he's here. He has taken a little bit of damage, but I think he might have beaten that Molotov. That might have been from fire, and yeah, Ethan, even just backing into it, back turned. I think Amanek even spotted the one player on top of the train, and yeah, he's got everything he wanted. Another opening kill and just backs away. That's gonna weaken Daps. No one's there to rotate to help him out. It's all him, and he's get caught with a nade in his hands, and he cannot undo it.
He gets lucky after the fact, but that is maybe not. Oh, Kenny actually burning down to 44, kind of needlessly. Jack's taking up a very forward position, and
You save.
yeah,
I don't know if you can actually. You might go for this if you're NRG. I take it all back. You should go for this. It's 6-14. You need to get rounds before you allow them to get to 15, and at least you have plenty of weaponry to fight with here.
Well, they are posturing like they're going to try and do it. Nice trade there from Jax to take down Tarek, and
That was the one. Cirque needed that trade to make this doable.
yeah, Jax doing a good job. Second kill for him. And yeah, it's pretty much all over here, at least for this round. Cirque going to be running away with the AWP. And yeah, just a good clean entry there, especially catching Daps with the grenade just being thrown.
Yeah, and this is where the money comes into a conversation. Cirque is going to be able to drop a weapon over, but you have Breeze, Tarek, and Ethan who all need something. They've got no money. Daps is going to buy up AUG, full utility armor. Cirque is going to have to drop an AUG over, but NRG have to win 9 in a row to force that overtime. And I'm not feeling it at the moment. Doesn't look like they're poised to win 9 in a row.
You're a very negative person like that, Moses, I've noticed. You just don't tend not to believe in people. There's no trust, no... Like, where's the Disney version of the story, Moses, where it all works out?
That's a really good question. I guess I am kind of a glass half empty at the moment when it comes to NRG. Breeze gets traded off. And there's some nice work with the pistol, and looks like your proverbial pumpkin is coming in.
Yeah, almost 12 o'clock. I was going to say, half glass empty was the way Bush phrased it at one point. One of my favorite moments. Only really outdone by mission accomplished.
You're a big fan of that one.
I am a big fan of that moment. Well, they actually managed to hold it. It looked like they were about to get completely crushed, but some of the fighting that was happening around that smoke out there by E-Box was a little bit unpredictable, I guess you could say. And NRG come out on top. See, nothing I would love more, Moses, than if they did make it back now after you had, said it wasn't likely.
Who would be the Disney princess if they made it all the way back?
That's a good question. For some reason, I was trying to think of...
Any answer that's going to be not insulting to somebody? I can't do it. I promise.
I was trying to think about shoes, like what shoes with... I don't know.
Okay, like the slipper, you went the Cinderella route. So you've already picked the Disney princess.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what... Yeah, something like that. Oh, Cirque is going to be the one to do it. I think Cirque could be it. He would be, but he would be like one of the more modern Disney princesses where they sort of fight a little bit more. There's like a little bit more to it.
We got Prius in a Princess Peach dress at Summit. He could be a Disney princess.
What's a Princess Peach dress?
Like the pink dress that Princess Peach wears in the Mario games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have pictures. I'll show you after this. It's great.
Great. I look forward to it.
7-15. NRG trying to make this comeback happen. 8 in a row now, as they have been able to actually prevent G2 from winning 2 rounds in a row on this T side so far, but still a very, very long way to go. That's not too much of a silver lining for the NRG boys.
Well, we would have to get all the way. I mean, once we get to something like, 15-12 or something, then, you're within striking distance. Then it can really happen. But until that point, it's a really long runway, and you don't have any kind of a lift off. You're just kind of like cruising down there. Round number 23 here. Couple of flashbangs, couple of deagles. Something could happen, but I feel like it's unlikely.
Well, I think the thing is you have to look at this round and how important it is, and even if it doesn't seem like that NRG keeps players alive. They have to have some money because they're just still running so low, and this is exactly what you don't want. Now these Deagles can start exploiting some open space. There's a great shot with the AWP, and the AUG as well chiming in. That would have been a great shot hit for Lucky, but they do lose 2. That is going to hurt the economy, but it's not bad. Chet back there, clapping away. We did a counterpoints with Chet.
I saw that in the roster. I just didn't watch it yet.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, I know. I thought, listen, my time's too valuable with this. I can't deal with it.
You had that nightmare travel starting at 2 a.m. and you couldn't download a podcast.
I downloaded a bunch of podcasts, but I'm going through like a whole different topic, Moses. Like I'm stuck into something else.
Okay. Something weird?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's weird. You know this guy Jocko Willink?
Yeah, we've had this conversation. It's
Yeah.
not weird, but
Jocko's awesome.
I don't want to have it again. 15-8.
My dream is that we could get like, sort of pool all of our money and get Jocko to come talk to some of these teams and sort of teach them a little bit about leadership, maybe get their mind right.
Your dream is to spend money to get a motivational Navy SEAL speaker for other people.
Hell yes.
That's a weird dream.
We'll film all of it. It's going to be amazing. Round number 24, ladies and gentlemen here. 7 more rounds than the Rover NRG. And they could really ruin Moses' day, and I think that we all want to see that happen. Lucky, gonna go for a bit of a fight on the other side, and Cirque actually... So this is a double setup, Cirque hitting that shot. I really feel like it's just Cirque hitting shots all the time now. Like, he is the engine to do all of this.
Starting to warm up. Well, certainly on a map like Train where the AWP can be so effective. He's a very important player. He's got 18 kills, 15 death. Ethan is 17 and 18.
Sort of like Cirque, the tank engine. If somebody could Photoshop Cirque's train, or like Cirque's face onto Thomas,
the train engine,
then that would be amazing. If they could fit it into the map train afterwards, and if then they could line up G2 in front of him on the tracks, and he just sort of like, that's the ultimate Photoshop level.
They'd have to win for that Photoshop to work.
Yeah, but I'm just planning for the future. I'm just trying to make sure. Photoshop takes a while. People have to get ready for it,
Well, here we go. Jack's very close to this smoke on the lower ramp. He can burst through. Terra can have a fast flank up ladder. Ethan and Daps now both close up towards inside. I think this inner bomb site, it just looks on the minimap like it's closed. This defense should be so solid. 4 players going to come in here. 2 smokes, 2 Molotovs, and 3 flashbangs for the G2 attack.
Yeah, and most of those flashbangs surely going to hit way behind them. You see they go all the way behind both the players. There's a Molotov going down to block off half of that push. And Ethan, are they really going to be checking this? Good kill. He's flashed for the minute, but again, it's Cirque to shot with that AWP and Sharks. 19 seconds here. I don't really think it matters. He can still do some damage. Again, they really don't have a lot of money, NRG, in spite of winning some of these rounds. And this is finally a round where they can actually build something. So 15-9.
Yeah, now they can start feeling not comfortable because you obviously have backs against the wall for 6 more rounds. But at least you're not in dire straits with the economy. At least you're not ever just going to not be able to fight for this map. 4 AUGs, 1 AWP on the NRG side. And I think for G2, this is one of those half-buy scenarios. You don't really have the money to get a clean investment. You don't really have the money for an AWP. So just sit around out with the pistols. Do the French timeout. Just sit and spawn, have a chat.
Oh, I was wondering where that was going for a minute.
Is there somewhere else I could have gone?
No. I'm not getting lured into this. I was trying to do it the other way. Cirque, again, connecting with a shot. He knows there's a man on the low ground, so he's not even going to try and play around with it. He's so good right now. Triple kill for him, 15-10.
You're right. He's really warmed up from that first half. He's looking much cleaner on the CT side. Things are obviously easier on the CT side, but he's.
This is why he's that fighting Disney princess, Moses.
Okay, he's the feisty one.
Yeah. You ever seen that new movie they made? I think it's called Vaiana, and it might be called something else in a different country.
No.
It's like a Hawaiian version of it.
Oh, I think it's I don't know.
It was called something else due to an unfortunate naming conflict that I don't really want to dive into. But that's great. You should watch that.
Hold that thought for between maps.
I will do that.
Yeah, we'll get a Photoshop going of that Disney cover with Cirque on there. Jack's in the ladder room. G2 at the start, all spread out. No one really working together quite yet. It'll be Jack's, Lucky, and Kenny, it looks like, to clear out box halls. Shocks is now coming to meet up with them too, so at 1:20, giving up all that spread out map control you had, this looks like it's got to be an inner hit with Almanet causing a distraction or lurking towards Ivy. Now, last time G2 hit inside, they really could not get past that defense, but it was 2 players being aggressive at the bomb train, at the front of the bomb train, and it's relatively similar here.
Do they have a flashbang for Daps? They're going to be walking out with no signal at all, and he was ready for it. Good headshot to follow up, and Breeze also taking down a couple of people. I mean, sometimes you do criticize teams for not throwing grenades, but this was completely intentional for G2's point of view. But they were getting spotted. I mean, that can happen. It's still a reasonable idea.
They were trying to beat the timing of when that second player rotates back to the B bomb site, right? You could see, I think it was Kenny with that AWP, would just post it up, waiting for that second player to pop out of connector. But the 2 rifle setup on the defense inside is really, really confusing G2. That's a look they haven't been able to deal with just yet. They've ran into it twice in a row. We saw him looking happy in the first half.
Yeah, that's really gone away.
He's no longer happy. He's up. He's in general mode.
Yeah, those days are so long ago, aren't they? You know.
How do you pronounce his alias? It's Milk?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I'll let you. I'll let you do that.
Let me take the hit on that one.
Yeah. Right now, it is looking really rough. 15-11. It's weird because they could have one good engagement at the beginning of a round, and we would say, oh, that's it, G2 in the map, and you know, it's all good. But I don't think I'm going to let them get away with this. If you have this much of a lead, you should be closing this match quite a while ago. This is actually a little bit terrifying. Daps, good enough shot there, also blocking off with the Molotov on the other side, and that buys some time. Now, there is actually Shox waiting for a lurk that's coming. Yeah, he gets that kill on Tarek. He was coming out of Pop Dog at the same time. That's very clever. Jax to pick up a headshot on Cirque, and once you take down Cirque, maybe there is not much left. It's Ethan now in a 1 versus 3. The bomb down as well, and they know exactly where he is. So G2, it wasn't even that the entry was great, but some little details there with Shox catching that flank was beautiful, and that is going to be round number 16 here for G2. They pick it up and win map number 1.
Well, we saw him try and catch off the support, the rotation at 1:20 in the previous round with the contact play, so they just decided to just step it up a notch and go for the full B rush, and that's what wins it. Classic B rush. 16-11, G2 take the